Hello everyone, welcome to this video tutorial. In this tutorial you will be taken through some aspects of material shading and texturing process. We're gonna teach you how to set up a material of cycle shaders, so you will learn how to make complex shader node networks for realistic materials. And beyond that, you will also learn how to create good environment lighting to achieve realistic themes of interior lights. So we're gonna use this existing scene to show you how to do that. Okay, now at this stage in the product process, as you can see, I got all the model down. I got the composition set up, and we got all the assets imported to one stage, which is this one, and they are all ready to go. Now we are ready to start rendering the scene and determine the look and feel of each objects in this scene. Okay, for this scene I'm going to render everything in cycles, so go to this drop down menu and choose cycles render. For more information about the cycle render engines, you can refer to the tutorial that I sent you via an email a couple of days ago. That tutorial is it's an online tutorial called Introduction to the Cycles Rendering Engine. Okay, for the cycles, the very first thing that I'm gonna do is to get the environment lighting set up, so we can get a basic idea of the feeling of the scene before we ever touch the shader or the texture for each single object. So in this scene, I want all the models could be assigned by one default material shader with the regular diffuse color. So I'm going to create a default shader and assign it to every model in this scene. I'm going to start from the biggest model, which is this house model. So I'm going to select the left click to select this model and go to his property panel. And his property panel, we have a tab called material, and in the material menu you can see a new button. It's a button called new, and that is the place where you can create the material shader. So I'm going to hit new, and then I'm going to rename this called still life SL underscore default. Well, you can give any descriptive name to it as long as you know what it is, and you can add more material by using this plus sign, or remove it by hitting this minus sign. So as you can see now, I got this diffuse shader with the white color. So I'm going to assign this material to everything. So I'm going to select the photo frame, and since that material has been created, so I don't actually need to recreate another diffuse shader. I can reuse it from this material library. So just click on this little button and scroll it down. I have some existing materials that I made in the previous test, so you just can ignore them. The one that we just created for the light testing is SL default, so just click on that. So now this SL default material has been successfully assigned to my selected objects. Then I'm going to select the frame. Sorry, I'm going to do this one by one. So scroll it down, select the shelf border, and just select this, the cloth, select this one, the wall shelf brackets. So basically you need to assign this default shader to everything: ceiling light, water jug, these two teacup, and the candle holder, candle, the bowl, two plates, and the last one is this table. So now up to this point I have given the same material the same material shader, this default shader to everything in this scene. So if I hit F12 to render it, you can see everything gets same look. So now I can actually focus on the lighting. So for the lighting, we basically need to do three things. The first thing is we're going to set up the environment light. In other words, we need to global illumination, and then we need to bring a window light just to line up with our physical window here. Basically, that window light needs to be used to push, the lights from outside to this room to illuminate some backfield, like the corner of this room here and here. And the third thing that is we need to further our global illumination, so we need create a sunlight to produce the shadows for each objects. So now I'm going to show you how to do that. So first of all, let's go into set up the environment light. To set up the environment light, we need to go to the world node, which is here. You click on that, and if this is the first time that you use the word tab, you should see a button called use node. Just click on that. Otherwise you should be able to see something like that. So the background is just showing you the environment color, which is gray color, and the screens here is basically the amount of the light. So we're going to set up the node here. Just select one of your panel and click on node editor. So this is the node editor, and you can see I have two nodes here, the background with the gray color linked to the word output. So if your node is too small, that's just because you're too far away from it. So just to scroll your mouse up and zoom in to see it clearly. Now with this gray color, if I'm going to hit F12 and render it, you can see I got a gray background in this scene, which is so boring. Okay, so in order to get rid of this gray color and use and bring the sky texture into the scene, what we need to do is put your mouse in this node editor somewhere and hit Shift A to add a new texture. So at this time we're going to choose sky texture, and now you can see I have a new node called sky texture loaded into my node editor, and you can see these yellow dots here. So that means if these two dots shaded in the same color, that means they are connectable. So which means you can click on one of the node and drag and attach to another dot with the same color. So when you're getting close to it, you just snap on it. So what I'm doing here is I connected the color attributes from the sky texture node to the color on the background. So the sky texture will replaces the gray color. So now if I'm going back to my scene and hit F12, and see what's happened. That gives you these blue sky texture. If you're not crazy about the color, let's say if you want a afternoon sky, you can left click on this sphere and move it, so you can adjust the day or night time to get different sky color through a day. So basically you can click on this sphere, drag and move your mouse to adjust the strength of your daylight. Also, apart from that, you also can set up the strength color for the background. If I change this value from 1 to 2 here, and if I hit F12 to render it, you can see I have a brighter sky. So as you can see, Cycles normally allows you to set up the shaders through this panel, the world panel or the material panel, in this property window. But also it also allows you to have more visual or easier setup through this panel called Node Editor. After creating the sky texture, now we can go ahead and create a sunlight. So basically the sunlight will generate the shadow for this scene. So I'm going to the top orthographic view and turn the wireframe mode on. From there you can see where is my main stage, where my window is. So I'm going to place my 3D cursor somewhere here, just right above, somewhere here, just above the roof. So hit Shift A to create a sunlight, and then I can go to the front orthographic view and hit R key to rotate the sun along green y-axis, and then I'm going to the top orthographic view, rotate it around z-axis. So basically we can manipulate the sun just in the same way as what we did for the physical meshes. So you can rotate it, you can grab it, you can move it to position the sun. So now you can see my sun is pointing to the window from that angle, and if I'm going to the camera view and hit F12, okay, you can see those nice shadows. So this rendering might take a while to finish because I have a more complex environment. I have the sky texture and I have the sun lighting, so the computer might need a set amount of time to render the value for each pixel. But from picture I can really see now that I got this nice shadow. If you guys can't see the shadow on your screen, that means there's something is wrong and this sunlight setting panel. So probably you didn't tick this on the cast shadow. If I tick this one off and I render it, you wouldn't be able to get this shadow. So make sure you tick this on before you go and start render this scene. Next to the cast shadow, I have another value called size. So basically this parameter determines the softness of the shadow. So the lower the value, the sharper the shadows are. The higher the value, the softer the shadows are. So if I'm going to turn this value to 1 and I hit F12 to render the scene, you will get a very harsh shadow sorry, you will get a very soft shadow. So you can see you get a very soft edge on the shadow. So now you can see the shadow of the plates on the table is very soft, and the shadow from the window even barely can be seen. If I'm going to change this one to a very low value, 0.1, and hit F12, you can see the shadow become very harsh. Just close this one. So basically the position and the direction of the sun determines the orientation of the shadow in this 3D scene. Okay, so for the time being, this is pretty good now.